All right. Welcome to another episode of the Babe We Need to Talk podcast. I'm Alicia.
I'm Dale.
What?
I forgot to press record. My bad.
She getting on up now. You can't sit down.
Are we ready?
Yeah, like what's taking so long? The camera on yet?
Hold
The
on.
camera.
Okay, it should be good now.
Lord.
What? Jelly cheese?
Don't do me that way.
Take two.
We're back. Welcome to season 2 of the Babe We Need to Talk podcast. I'm Alicia.
Dale.
Natalie.
Gels.
And we're in a new location. Welcome to our new studio.
Nice and cozy.
Indeed.
I'm excited, guys.
This Dale being so dry right now.
That's me. That's me. Energy dry. We balance each other out that way, you know.
What's our deal? I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
What have y'all been up to? I feel like it's been a minute. Like we've just been, life has just been life, and I guess
Trying to get this lovely
set up
new
straight.
setup together takes time.
So we are in our bonus room, and when we first moved into this house, this was kind of like where we kept all of our storage stuff. So we had to get it together so that way we could flip the space into a podcast.
It's nice.
It's great now.
Nice green, emeralds, green.
Green at the greens.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you did there. All right.
Yeah. So our first topic of the day,
Yes.
we have a scenario that was on TikTok, but I think it originally came from Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
So Dale, do you kind of want to give the rundown of the scenario? What happened to
You know what's crazy? It kind of sound like, maybe it came from that, but it sound like am I the asshole type scenario.
Yeah, it's one of those Reddit stories that people like send in, and then they ask for their perspective.
So, husband comes home crying, tells his wife his mistress is pregnant. She starts crying because she knows he's infertile. But if she tells him this, he would then know that their 2 kids aren't his. That's crazy.
That is crazy. But honestly, though, all she has to do is tell him to get DNA test. Like, not like in that. Like,
But he
You
sound
mean
like
with
he
the
adamant.
mistress?
yeah, with the mistress's baby.
But he
like,
sound like he adamant that he know that baby.
I'd be like,
is
look, you had a
his.
child, like
It's,
essentially, you had a child outside of your marriage, so like that's not your girlfriend. So
to be
you
honest, forget all of that. It's her having
yeah,
these
she's
kids
definitely the one in the wrong
outside
for sure.
of the marriage. Multiple.
Well, both of them are wrong, honestly, because I
So-
mean they both were cheating.
So my question is, how does she know that he's infertile, but he doesn't know that?
Very
Right.
good point as well.
Mm.
Because honestly, though, she could have just been messing around and just ended up getting pregnant with the other guy, not necessarily the fact that he's infertile.
Or she could have messed around and got like went to one of those fertility places, got pregnant that way, and never told him, and just made it seem like.
But that
The
still don't
baby
explain how she know he infertile, excuse
but
me,
he
and-
doesn't know.
and he don't know.
Yeah, that part.
That's
That's
wild.
true. He don't know that he's not fertile.
How does that work though? Like, oh,
Yeah, there's
that's
no
the
way that
confusing
she
part for
knows
me.
for sure. I think that she's just assuming that he's infertile because she didn't get pregnant by him. There's no way that she should know
Twice?
that he's infertile.
The second time might have been the icing on the cake. Like, look, we've been trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it didn't happen with you, but it happened with some other dude.
Yeah.
So it got to be you. You got to be the problem.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But it's still not one of those things where it's definite, you know?
Because it's like, even if that was the case, the timeline still had to match up for him to believe it was his kid. So if she was
And
with
how these
somebody else,
kids,
she was
these
a-
kids look like him or not? Like, who
So
is
you
the
got-
daddy?
So he got 2 women lying on him.
pretty much.
If that's the case, the mistress ain't being truthful, and then the wife ain't being truthful.
Why the mistress ain't being truthful?
Cause
'Cause
he infertile.
He's not the father of her baby.
Remember? But she got him thinking.
Oh, I see. Yeah. 'cause
She got him
up there
thinking that it's
he the
his.
daddy. Got you.
So he must got money.
Must be.
I need you to take care of these kids, but it's really Debo's kids down the street.
The milkman. The milkman kids.
The grandmama, the baby.
So that's a little off and crazy. That's just a
So what does she do?
yeah. Somebody
not say
they
nothing.
they need prayer.
The wife.
So the thing about it is, I feel like this is the time for her to come clean because he's obviously out here doing his dirt as well because he has a whole mistress. But if she wanted to keep the lie going, then she could tell him. Like,
but she now, her money about to get shortened because now he got to split it 3 ways. Well, not 3 literally, but in regards
Between
to
2 families.
2 families, yeah, because he got to pay the mistress.
but that's what I'm saying. She needs to tell him a DNA test.
But then it's over.
You think she should
What do you
just talk
mean?
it off that way?
He going to divorce her.
No, if I'm saying all she has to do is tell him you need to get a DNA test for that baby.
So keep the lie alive. Just tell
She didn't
him
got to say nothing about her kids.
Um,
Say, yeah, that's your mistress.
keep the lie
So
alive.
keep the lie alive.
I'm saying, like, this is her time to come clean, but if she's not going to come clean, all she has to do is be like, that's a mistress, bro. Like, that's not your girl. Like, that's not whatever. Get a DNA test.
True.
I
And then
guess so.
forgive him. Like what does she do? at this
Yeah.
point?
Forgive him. She got 2 babies that she lied to this man about.
She
Like,
going to have to forgive
it
him.
seems like it
She
should
don't
be a
have
wash.
to. She could be like, you cheated on me, divorce, child support. Like, what if she played it that way?
But how he gonna pay child support for kids that ain't his?
He
But he
can't
doesn't
because
know.
It doesn't
He don't
matter.
know that.
It doesn't
know
matter.
that.
They're married, so those kids are legally his.
It depends on the state.
I'm about to
Depends
say.
on the state,
But he also don't know the kids aren't his. So technically, he would be
He would-
paying
yeah, he paid
child support
regardless.
because they're on the birth certificate is the assumption. And if
Dun,
they
dun,
on there,
dun.
That's why I think child support should change. If you found out that the wife or the woman is
But the
is
thing
not
is,
truthful about the father of the child,
I
The
feel
thing
like
I think
what-
the woman should pay the man back child support that he done already paid
true,
to kids
but
that
what,
ain't his.
What if he has no reason to suspect
doubt
that they're
her.
not
Exactly.
his
No, I
kids.
get it. It's just like Kanye, 18 years.
But
And
I
on the
feel
18th
like,
birthday, you
I
found
feel
out
like
it wasn't his.
Anytime you get child support for somebody, there should be a DNA test before,
I
you have
agree.
to start paying.
I
it.
agree.
No, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, because that's OD.
Right. And then you build a relationship with somebody who's not.
I've seen that.
And then
Yeah,
that
man, you don't
child,
take
like,
blood,
yeah.
that's the sucky part is the kid and the whole thing.
Right, because the kid ain't going to understand.
Fact.
Exactly.
What you mean this ain't my daddy? Yes, he
Right.
is.
And then you got the woman or the mother going to end up playing victim. And then it's like, you
It's
know.
just like Maury and all of them joints. Where they be
I wonder
coming
where
on
those
there
people are now that they used to be on Maury. They should have a "Where are they now?" for Maury
and
Povich.
follow-ups.
I want to know where the cameraman at that used to chase him down.
Maybe they running marathons for her. What do you mean?
He is a
They
legend.
were
He
the
is
best shape of their lives.
Legend.
He used to be out when they used to run. He
And
used
you
to
know
be
those
with 'em.
cameras are super heavy too. We're getting off subject.
Oh yeah, but
We are, but I want to ask on our end of it, if that's clearly not happening here. Let's put that out there. But I already know where you stand because clearly you gonna lie to Dale and tell Dale.
No,
She
Keep
got
the lie
the
alive.
bases covered on that.
Yeah.
what? Oh,
What would you
She
do
gotta-
if that was the case? Like, you quote unquote didn't know you were infertile, but you told me about some mistress or whatever. Well, I guess it would be what
I guess
would do.
that'd be what
Yeah,
y'all would
yeah,
I
what
do.
would you
Yeah.
do?
yeah.
Because he already done came clean.
I might be on some Alicia shit. To be honest.
But would you be like, all right, I forgive you because you know you got dirt?
Yeah, I'm gonna forgive him. And then I'll be like, you need to go tell that joint to go get a test. It could be after the baby born or before.
Because the
You
Because
thing
can't do it
is,
till after the baby's
Nope,
born.
you
The
can't do it.
the crazy
you can't
thing
do it
is,
during.
like-
it's,
Oh,
it's
I
more
don't know.
invasive.
It's much more invasive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the crazy
the
thing
safer
is
ways
like
after.
when you say that, you know you can come clear. Like you in the clear from him being dependent on like that child because you know he infertile. So you know the child ain't his. So you say get a test, and then you go to sleep.
Yo, what if the test come back
Peaceful.
and say that you infertile? I don't know if it do all of that, but I'm just
No,
saying.
I think that's a different
Nah,
test.
it's a
for
different
that.
test.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a different test.
Yeah, you got to give your sperm to somebody, and then they got to test your sperm to
Oh.
see if they swimming.
Gotcha. But yeah, I'm on Alicia.
Mm.
Sorry, babe. These kids is
Yikes.
yours, but that one ain't. All right.
Well,
How we know the first 2 kids is mine?
He don't
You
know
not
any.
thinking.
He won't
You
know
not
any
thinking
different.
to question that
Oh,
because we
He
yeah.
won't know
married.
any different.
We go together.
All right, babe. What's the next topic?
So I gotta ask something. So you and I, what if we then find out that the kids ain't ours? Dun,
You mean like what if you
dun,
found out?
dun.
What if you found out that you're infertile?
Yeah, like what if I found out that I'm infertile?
We're celebrating my divorce.
I'm gonna say, baby, you infertile as of now. You clearly you want
Still making
the
the
lie
lie go.
alive.
Oh God.
Like for your whole life, you was infertile, and then you found out, and then now the kids ain't ours. Mm. And you just been lying to us this whole time.
Divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's now. This is okay. Let's say the divorce happened. Will you still be in the kid's life?
I think
that's
so.
tricky.
Because it's like, it depends on how old they are. Like, if it's like, I don't know.
I know that's tough.
Yeah, I would say yes because you build this connection with these kids, and it's
Like at
hard
this
to
point
let
with
go.
my oldest, if that was the case, like but we already
Especially-
did. But if that was the case, it'd be hard not to just.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
If you
couldn't-
got like
there's
a
no
whole
way I could.
teenager,
Yeah.
it's over. Yeah, you still in their life.
But would you help them find their real daddy?
If they wanted to.
No,
That's
but
a-
like, do you
Would
tell
you
them?
help? Yeah, like
Do you
would
tell them like, hey,
I
I'm your
would.
real daddy?
I would.
At
It
what
dep-
point
I
though
would.
do you let them go for the like until they're 18, or do you let them finish college? Like at what point, or do you tell them as soon as you find out?
No, when I find out, I tell them. So it's never it's not a time lapse of resentment. Like why you didn't tell me sooner? As soon as I found out was when I found out is when I tell you. Now
I
we
mean,
can
that
both
makes sense.
process this together.
Yeah.
You know, and because there's gonna be points and times where you're gonna be mad at the mom or the wife or whatever because all the stuff, and then you start trying to piece stuff together. But I think if you have to talk together and trying to figure it out
as soon as possible.
as soon as possible,
Yeah.
now you know that okay, at least my dad has been, or the person I've been calling dad has been truthful with me from day one when he found out. Because it's easy for the father to always be the victim of everything. You know, mom is pretty much always the one that's the nurturer or whatever. So mom doing something bad is not really
Does no
looked
wrong,
at.
yeah.
Right, yeah. It's always if the dad do something like, oh yeah, daddy left.
So what if your child is too young to comprehend, like 2-year-old?
Right.
Damn.
Now if it's
A
our
2-year-old,
youngest, yeah,
you
that's
could
hard
leave.
to kind of.
You could leave
You
with
could-
a 2-year-old.
It's still
Yeah,
not
you
that
could,
simple,
but you
though.
still have that bond in your heart. But
Yeah.
it'd be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like you said. I think it'd be easier for younger, but harder for older. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's a
feel
fact.
like it's the only time it's gonna be easier if it's like an infant, cause like once you like
newborn.
Yeah, cause like even at Demi's age, Demi is 2. I couldn't imagine like being like, oh, I'm not your mom anymore.
Mhm.
Cause it's just like she understands, like as much as she doesn't understand like biology, like she still understands like I'm her mom. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Because the little one definitely told her older sister the other day when she called me daddy. She said, "No, that's my daddy." I said, "Oh." I said, she looked at her and said, "No, that's my daddy too." And you should have seen her face. She was like,
What do you mean?
Speaking of fathers, let's transition to this one.
"Great segue." There.
So, so we got a scenario where a father confronts the stepfather of his child about taking his son to the barber shop to get a haircut, and he is livid. He's pissed. He's ready to beat the stepfather up
In the barbershop.
in the barber shop while the son is in the chair.
He's definitely doing too much.
Like,
At that
You
point, it's
ain't
just
do
it's
it.
resentment.
Yeah.
It's
you ain't step
it's
up like you
deeper.
was
It's
supposed
deeper
to.
than the haircut. It's resentment because if you look at the video, he talking about call her because she probably with some other dude doing this because she a thought or whatever. So it's bigger than that. So it's probably, to be honest with you, it's probably the baby mama is probably telling the baby daddy one story and then telling the dude she with another
Why
story.
the baby mama always got to be the problem?
No, I'm just saying. So it's not a clear communication there of they probably still maybe messing around or she
Or he still
giving
got
him
feelings for
right
her.
or is she giving
He
him
could
some
still
kind of
have feelings
illusion
for
that
her.
there's a chance or whatever. So That's why that
But
I
he
think it's
said
big in the,
stepfather. If that's his stepfather, they're married.
Yeah.
right.
He-
It's
Again,
still,
like
it's
I'm
still
saying,
resentment though.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
still
I mean
resentment.
for
I can
sure,
relate to
but
that.
I don't feel like
see
that's her fault because he can't.
Or
handle the
it
fact
could
that
have been a
there's another man in his
situation where
life.
the father been communicating with the mother saying that,
He
hey,
wanted those
I'm gonna
moments.
take our son to get a haircut, blah 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 blah, and then never communicated with the stepfather that the father's gonna do it, and then the stepfather took him, and then he found out and
And
was
he
just
caught
upset.
in the middle of this stuff.
Like,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now
yeah.
he's
Or
stuck
he
in the
could just
middle.
be a deadbeat who never take a shot to get a haircut, but just don't want the stepfather to do
it,
it.
yeah.
Or to do it,
Too.
or he just don't like him at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
just don't like him. Like, some people just want to inconvenience others. So it's like, I want her to take him, but I don't want you to take him type situation. Like, I don't want another man taking my child to get a haircut. Well,
Right.
sir, where are you?
I don't know. I think that's
Petty.
just lack of communication. You definitely gotta have good communication to kind of wear that stuff out. But
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
bottom line that is like communication. No matter how you spin it, it's like communication. I feel like it's probably, I could be dead wrong, but it could be just a deadbeat dad. Like and the thing is, he probably had no clue. He probably just pulled up to the barbershop and saw his son in the chair. Like, wait a minute, what?
oh yeah,
What
I
you
didn't think
doing
about
here?
that. That is true. Yeah.
And then see he with the stepfather and he get pissed for no reason, because he's not in that place
Right.
taking his son to get a haircut.
And that's what I'm thinking too. Because
He can't
even
be a
if it was a
father.
lack of communication, why are you mad
Yeah.
that this man took your child to the barbershop?
Or that someone's in the barbershop and one of his boys at the barbershop like, yo, your son here getting a haircut?
and at that point,
And
you're
then he pulled up,
embarrassed.
and then he
because
pulled up,
somebody
yeah.
else, yeah.
So yeah,
Because
that's probably what
Because
happened.
even if it wasn't like communication, why are you mad?
Right.
You're upset that he took your son to the barbershop?
It's deeper than rap.
And wasn't he trying to take him out the
Yeah,
chair?
he took him out the chair.
He
Yeah.
tried to take him with him.
You're doing too much.
So as a stepfather, do you let the father take him out the chair?
I mean, I probably would because that's
yeah,
his kid.
it's his kid.
It depends. It depends. I don't know. I feel like if I was in the stepfather's shoes, I wouldn't let him do it. But I also wouldn't let him talk to me like that either.
That's another thing.
'Cause
He
the
was
way he
letting him.
was
He
talking-
was letting him just go in on him,
Right.
and I'm just sitting here like he's calling. He's trying to step out to the side, call her. Like I don't need to call nobody. First of all,
She sent
who
me.
you talking to? Yeah,
Right,
like
exactly. Exactly.
because everybody in the barbershop just like, yeah, nah, you couldn't. Nah.
So how would you have handled that then? If you would have stepfather?
I mean, it is tough. One, two. Like I said, he wouldn't talk to me like that, and me just stand there, like, you know what I mean. And then if he tried to take the kid, I don't even. That's tough to, cause it depends. Like if he's not in the kid's life, I'm not gonna just let him take the kid. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is his biological child,
Right.
I don't know. That's
Also, too, you're in the barbershop. So already the atmosphere in the barbershop is he come in there like, I'm going to be hard. I ain't trying to look no punk, blah, blah, blah. So you got everybody else looking at the situation instead of being a man. So if I was a stepfather, I'd be like, listen, I understand you. Let's go outside and talk about this. We're not going to talk about this in the barbershop, especially not in front of your child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Be
If
an
you want
adult.
to discuss this or talk about it like man to man, let's go outside and talk about it. Everybody in here don't need to know what's going on. Cause then you gonna have people hype men in the back, like, you wouldn't talk to me like that. Blah, you know how it is. It's just so it's all about maturity too in that situation. But again, we don't know the relationship of this whole dynamic.
Yeah, it's a lot
so
of
that's
unknowns.
another thing. So who knows? Maybe, like you said, maybe he'll deadbeat that. Maybe he just got back in town. He ain't never been in so now they got it. Now the stepfather, like, I got to deal with this. I won't go say that, but
He got out of jail just 5 seconds ago.
so
Pulled
but
up
yeah,
with his plastic
Right.
bag.
Which again, why are you mad? Because where you been at?
yeah, it's bigger than a haircut. It's more to that than that for him to go off like that.
That's a fact.
That was a good topic though.
All right, segue into the next topic. So, our final topic will be that a woman says her in-laws asked her, not their own son, but they asked her if they could renew their vows at her wedding ceremony.
No.
Absolutely not.
Hell
Why?
to the no.
Only
There
thing
we
I
go.
feel like you can ask somebody at a wedding to do is propose to somebody else.
Still no.
And that's even a stretch.
Yeah.
Because the wedding day is
Pick
all
another day.
about
Yeah.
About the bride.
The
and
only
bride
way
and
I'm
groom,
letting
yeah.
somebody propose to somebody at my wedding if it's like my sister or something like that. Because it's like all of our family is already here. So it's like.
Still no.
I think I could give you a proposal at
You
the
could
end
do
of the
it.
ceremony.
You could do
or
it
something.
tomorrow.
You wouldn't do it.
I think
You
I
would not.
might. I
No, you would
might.
not.
I think
Your
you're full
day?
of shit.
Exactly.
you don't
For my
you-
sister, maybe, yeah.
No.
They
You
could do
wouldn't.
it tomorrow. It's the family's still gonna be there.
Oh,
That's
I see.
true.
No. Now I see what Lisa's saying. She's saying like her sister because all the family
All
will
the
be and they
families
all
in
share the
one
same
place.
family to
Yeah.
see. But in that regard is you can see them all together when you get married.
You could see them tomorrow. Like that's nah.
Yeah, you would have to plan, but you would have
You have
to
to plan for everybody to
for
come
everybody
back.
to come back and be together again tomorrow. For
But
some type for
obviously,
something.
your sister
What?
not. First of all, your sister's probably not gonna know. So it have to be
Exactly.
your brother.
So the boyfriend would have
Have
to try
to-
to plan something to have all
Tomorrow.
the family together. So I mean, it's doable. But I think if it was for me, if it was my sister, I would let her do it. I would let her boyfriend propose to her at the end of my reception.
but Dale's parents couldn't do that. Propose at your wedding.
They couldn't renew their vows.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
renew
not
their
renew
vows.
your vows. No, because that's two ceremonies. Absolutely not.
And that's tacky. Like
It is.
You trying to get a
It's
2 for
tacky,
1.
It's cheap.
Yeah, you
it's-
already got the people in the food.
You're trying to
You already
not
got the
pay
open
for have a
bar.
renewal
Let me just go ahead and
yourself.
jump in.
That is.
Yeah, that's-
You're trying to use our wedding to get avoid paying to have a renewal.
And then how's that gonna happen? They now pronounce us man and wife. We walk off, and then y'all come up and renew
Stay in
y'all
your seats,
vows?
guys.
And where's your peoples at? Because like now your
Yeah.
friends is coming too.
Yeah, that's-
Absolutely not. No.
So
So if they decide to pay for the whole thing?
But they didn't pay
they
for
didn't
nothing.
pay for
Oh, that was the
anything.
whole
That was
thing.
part
That
of
was
the
the whole
that was
thing,
part
yeah.
of the
Y'all had-
topic. Like
yeah.
Oh nah, you just
Y'all just
So-
freeloading.
jumping on.
So one, they didn't pay for anything. Two, they asked if they can do it at their ceremony because everybody will already be together.
All the
Like
kids was
family
gonna
and
already be
friends,
there.
All the kids, right?
But they didn't. She didn't ask the son, who she already has an
Which
estranged
they have an
relationship.
estranged
Yeah.
Exactly.
relationship. Exactly.
Which
yeah.
this is probably why they have an estranged relationship because
Does she do these
you
grown-
taking
Because of stuff like
advantage.
this.
Yeah, you taking advantage.
Nah, son.
That's just weird altogether.
And the thing about it is, you had to have known when you asked the question that it was an obscure ask to begin with, and you knew the answer was going to be no, but you're going to try to flip it as if they're trying to be mean to you
Yeah.
or they're being irrational when they're not.
Oh, you don't love us.
Like you cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Right.
And that's kind of like, you know how like when you're on punishment or you know like you can't do something, so you get your friend to ask your parent. If you get, that's kind of how this is. Like they going around their own child to ask his fiance if they could.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yo, ask my mom if you could spend a night.
Right.
Because, but you know what though? Because the child has probably already established boundaries with them, and they probably know like they'll say no. So let me ask the fiance who
'Cause
doesn't
she-
know us like
right. Who
that.
can soften
so
the blow.
Exactly,
Fighting
because
chance.
she's probably trying to establish a relationship with them.
Relationship, yep.
So she's probably gonna say yes.
Yes.
But you don't use that to do it.
But
I
you
don't think.
that's what manipulators do.
That's
Bars,
a word.
Lisa.
It's a
Okay.
word.
So they asked her the best thing that she could say in that scenario is,
Let me ask my
let
fiance.
me talk to Eugene about that.
Let me talk
Not
to
Eugene.
Eugene.
And then that's when she come up like, oh, you ain't got to bother him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was
Like,
just an
it's-
idea. We
yeah.
won't, you know.
It's his wedding too,
And then
so I
Eugene
want to
gotta
run it
come
by
put the
him.
hammer down. Don't you
What I
ask
tell
my
you?
fiance.
So would you
Yeah.
would you
What?
question for the females? Would y'all question them like why would you even think to ask me that on?
Yes.
If it's the in-laws,
I think it depends on how long I've known them. Like I probably would ask him,
But you
like,
probably wouldn't have really known them at that stage.
because they were estranged, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't know them. So I probably would think it, but I probably wouldn't be like, why would you ask me that? But I probably would ask him, why would she ask me
Yeah.
that?
I would be like, you know, your mother just called me asking me if she could have
Yeah.
her wedding behind our wedding.
she did what?
Yeah, what does that even look? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess it would make more sense like if this was planned and then they paid for stuff or whatever, and
I don't honestly
That's
think the
still
money
tacky.
matters.
It's still-
Even
yeah,
I
other
still
than
get
that,
it,
but-
like
it's just the way the topic
Unfortunately,
is
you're
sound
going
like
to
a
have to
freeload.
find another time to get your kids together.
right.
But you
Plan
know what
your
though?
own
I
event.
wonder if they know because they have an estranged relationship with this child that they know what the other kids would not come if it was for just
If it
them.
wasn't for them, yeah.
Or is their
Because
anniversary
it's-
the same time you getting married? To renew their vows.
That's what it sounds like.
So they getting married on the same.
Because
Even
like
still, I
if they
don't know.
anniversary in August, but they renewing their vows in June, like that don't.
I mean, if it is happens to be around the same time, like the same exact day or a couple days,
and it's their 25th or something.
whatever it may be. There's Friday and there's Sunday.
I'll acknowledge you at the ceremony. Like I'll say, have the DJ say congratulations to them for their 25th anniversary. But that's about
congratulations.
it. That's about it. That's about all you gonna get. You might get a little dance.
Weddings ain't cheap for you to be coming on my coattail trying to do your own thing. Yeah. Food, the venue, the pastor, you gotta pay for them people too.
Yeah.
Nah, son.
Nope. But you, how would you feel about like if you had a sibling that wanted to like propose during your reception?
Did you not hear me before
She has
when
only
I
child
said
syndrome,
no?
so she never got to worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I mean, I still have friends that I consider like sisters or whatever the case may be, but nah.
That's your day.
This is me. This is about
That's why
me.
I think like she says that she might.
I'm
but
telling you,
They
I
call
don't
it a
think so. Like,
bridezilla, but I'll be there if that's
I
the
wouldn't
case.
care. Like if she came to me like, yeah, my sister wanted to blah blah blah, I'd be like,
But I don't
you're cool with it.
I don't even like being the center of attention like that for real. Like if you remember at our wedding when we did like our first dance and stuff, I was eyeing the DJ like cut the song. Like I'm ready to sit down. Like we walked off the dance floor. I'm perfectly fine with being in the background. I'll be like, okay, that's fine. You can propose.
Nah, son.
Okay.
What about you?
What?
A proposal. If your sibling wanted to propose to somebody
Look,
at your
the wedding.
I would be honest with you if obviously if my brother was still alive, he wanted to do that. Like I'd probably be like, okay, we just gotta figure out the right time to do it. Maybe before everybody dances or something, or
everybody dances.
No, the
Like at the
reception.
cocktail
yeah,
hour?
the reception part of the ceremony, not the wedding.
No, I know
Yeah.
it would
Yeah.
never. So the thing
Yeah.
is, I don't think that ever would happen at
Like
the
at the
ceremony.
like the best man,
It
like
will
the movie.
always be at
Like,
the reception.
at that
Yeah.
part.
But we stopping the music
Yeah.
to have y'all propose.
Like
That's
during,
why I
I'm
say,
jamming right now,
That's why
and
I
I
say
got to
I would
stop
like
during
it
the
to
talk.
be
That's what
at
I'm
the
saying.
end,
I would
at
know
the end
that
of the reception.
I would know that before
Or-
and communicate with you. But prime example, like in the movie The Best Man, remember Harper just did it, but you see, Ellen had no problem with it, but
yeah, he ain't even
Yeah.
asked.
he ain't even ask.
That was rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't even ask, but it
was
worked.
a movie though, so it
It
played
was a
out
movie,
well.
yeah, because it worked with all the stuff that was going on. But
Yeah,
yes,
that's
if
one
they-
of my favorite movies, by the way. I do watch black
I was
films.
about to say, you seen that?
you said I did watch.
I
that.
do watch black films.
Yes, that Best Man is always is. Is that considered a classic now? Do you
Yes,
think?
I would
That's
say
mine.
so. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I guess.
I'll say so.
Y'all gotta remember, man. Tay Diggs was killing the black films for a minute.
And Morris Chestnut.
Mm-hmm.
That-
Yeah, and Lorenz Tate.
They had a hell of a cast.
The whole cast, honestly. Sanaa Lathan,
Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what's up, man?
Nia Long.
Regina King. Hall.
Hall.
King?
Regina Hall, yeah.
Hall, Regina Hall.
I always get them too confused.
Yeah, but that was like one of her
That was her first movie.
first
Who?
movies.
Regina Hall?
Regina,
Hall.
yeah.
That wasn't a comedy based kind of role for her. Because remember, she did like Scary Movie.
Yeah, she did
In them
scary
joints.
movies. She did Malibu's Most
Most
Wanted.
Wanted.
Remember that?
B Rad's
A
girlfriend.
bunch of stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, guys, if you made it this far, thank you. This has been yet another episode of the Baby Talk Podcast. Thank you so much for